Hello, today I'm going to show you how to create a simple program in C++. It's going to be a hello world program, and I'm going to explain to you each line of code. First, I'm going to go to File, New, and Project. I'm going to make sure it's in Visual C++, and I'm going to create a console application Win32. I'm going to name it Hello World. Now it's going to ask me a few options. I'm going to hit Next. I'm going to make sure the application type is selected console application. I'm not going to check empty project. I'm going to uncheck precompiled header, and I'm going to uncheck security development lifecycle. And these ones I'm going to leave off for now. Then I'm going to hit Finish. Right now, Visual Studio is building up the program based on my options, so just be a moment. And now I'm going to just select everything and delete it. The first line I'm going to type is going to be pound include. I'm going to type in less than. Now I'm going to type in IO string. I'm going to hit enter. This line of code is for the compiler. It is called a pre-processing directive. The purpose is to tell the compiler we want to use the source code from another file that is part of the standard library that comes with all C++ compilers. And I'll show you later on how to get your own or a third-party source code into your own program. So we're currently loading functions for later use in the program. I'm going to hit enter twice. Now I'm going to type in int main and a left parenthesis and a right parenthesis. Now all C++ programs have this. However, instead of int, you can also have void. And this time I'm going to leave it as void. And void main is the entry point for all C++ programs. It tells the compiler that this is where we want to start executing all of our code from. And it's the name of the main function called main. I'm going to type in enter, then I'm going to type in left curly brace and right curly brace. I'm going to go in between those two and hit enter. What I just created is a function called block for main. This will hold all execution code that we want to start executing within the main program. Now since I've hit enter, I created a space, and now I'm going to type in return and semicolon at the end. And right now I just created a small C++ program. I'm going to save it and compile it and execute it, and we'll see what happens. Yes, I would like to build it. You would like to hit F5 if you want a shortcut to compile and execute it. As you can see, something happened, but since we didn't have anything really interesting to execute, it just went through it, executed, and just left. Now let's have an explanation on void. Void tells the program that we're going to return a value of nothing since it's void. Now if we were to type in int, then we'll have to return a value. If I try to compile it right now, as you can see, I have an error. The error was being on this line right here. I would type in a0, and what this would do is it would tell the program to return the number 0 to the caller or the operating system, because this line tells us that the operating system is going to expect a number, and since we're returning 0, it will return that 0 to the operating system. And if I hit F5 to compile again and execute it, I'm going to have to rebuild it because it's out of date. As you can see, it executed correctly. Now, since this is a hello world, I'm going to type in the command to print hello world. I'm going to go to the first curly brace and hit enter again. Now I'm going to type in std 2 colons, type in cout space 2 greater than symbols space double quotes, then I'm going to type out hello world. You go to the end and type in a semicolon. Just so you know, at the end of every C++ expression or execution, I'm going to type in a semicolon at the end of this line to let the compiler know that this is the end of the line. And everything should be executed on that line as itself. Now I'm going to hit F5 to execute it. Since it's out of date, I have to hit build again. But since that was too fast, I'm going to type in space std cn, and after that I'm going to type in period get and left parenthesis, right parenthesis, and semicolon, and hit enter. I'm going to hit F5, hit yes, and as you can see, we have a hello world print to the screen. Now the std_cout is a line of code that prints the string literal to the console. What we have right here is the std_cout. Now what this is a function that was defined in the IL stream up here we added earlier in the program. And what it is it tells that we want to print something to the screen. In order to do that, we have these two operands right here, which is called an insertion operator. What it does is it takes whatever's to the right of it and inserts it into the object right over here. And since it's a string of hello world, it was able to print it out after I executed this line of code. Now the next line is the std_cn get. Now this whole function is actually defined within the IL stream also. However, what this does is it tells us that, or it tells the program that we want to get a keyboard input, and it can be any key, and it will attempt to get it and will not execute until it does, or execute any further. Another thing I would like to talk about are comments. I'm going to go to the right side of the left curly bracket and hit enter. And I hit 2 forward slashes. I'm going to type in this is a comment. Now what a comment is, it tells the compiler that to ignore this line completely. What it's mostly used for is to add notes for the user or whoever is reading the program, what the computer is supposed to be doing. Now you can type whatever you want. You can even have code in here and it will not execute. Another comment you can use is the / space, and I'm going to go to wherever I want to the next line and hit star and / again. The star and a / again. And what it does, and now what this does is it says ignore from the left side of this star all the way to the right side of the star. It will ignore everything within between. This is good for commenting out lines of code in case you want to test out a new type of code before you make changes, instead of deleting them right off the bat. It's really useful for debugging, for testing code and changing a few things before you get to a production level. But when you get into the real world, you're going to want to not really use it as much to comment out that code, because that can get into a bad habit. Well, this is all there is to C++ programming. I hope to keep continuing this to help you get further. Leave any questions or comments. Thank you.